Now from Cleveland Stadium, it's ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. Tonight, David Cone takes the mound for the Kansas City Royals against American League home run leader Albert Bell and the Cleveland Indians.
Hello everybody, welcome to the ESPN Sunday Night Baseball Game of the Week. It's the Kansas City Royals and the Cleveland Indians from Cleveland Stadium. This game was played Sunday, June 27th, 1993. Starting pitchers for today's game for Cleveland. Left-hander Cliff Young, 3-3 with a 4.62 ERA. And for the Royals, it'll be right-hander David Cone, 11-14 with a 3.33 ERA. Got our benches and bullpens all in place. And we got our dice. So I believe we are all ready to go. I've got the score sheet right here. So when it's time to keep track of what's going on, I got it right here. Real game again. Cleveland won on a walk-off home run from Reggie Jefferson off of David Cone in the bottom of the ninth, 3-2. We'll see if history repeats itself or whether Kansas City can come away with a victory this time around. Leading off for the Kansas City Royals, it'll be Felix Jose, right fielder, and it's a lefty-on-lefty matchup against Mr. Young. And in column 6, Felix Jose has 3 split chances where they will be outs against the lefty that would have been hits against the righty. So kind of going against the odds a bit, but they have him in there as a leadoff hitter. And we get a 3-6-6, and that is a left-right split on the very first play. Left-right split, 47 against the lefty. That's going to be a line out to the second baseman. So the lefty-righty split fails him there. Had he been facing a righty, that would have been a base hit. But since it's lefty-on-lefty, he makes the out. So that's the 3-6, red 3 and white 6 is the generic left-right split in this game that every card has. Now switch hitters have something different, like Brian McRae. They always get a hit in that 3-6. It's the other lefties and righties that have to deal with the opposite side of the pitching side. Here's McRae, 4-5. 4-5 is an 11 with the plus sign. It means if he reaches, he has to try to steal. 11s mean we're looking at a potential error. The blue die says we're looking at the third baseman, and for Cleveland, that's Espinosa. So if we look at Alvaro Espinosa and his error rating at third base, it is only a 15. 15, so that's pretty bad. Means anything 16 or higher will be an error, and if the blue die is a 6, it's a 2-base error. So it will be an error, so it's E5. Brian McRae will reach on the E5. And he is aboard, means he has to steal because we got that 11 with the plus sign. So to look at stolen bases, and the way I like to do stolen, there's several ways to do stolen bases, but the method I prefer is that matrix method with the pitcher hold rating and the catcher defense. So if we look at Cliff Young, his hold rating is a 3. And the defense of the catcher, in this case, that would be Junior Ortiz. Junior Ortiz is a 4. So go to our chart, and we cross-reference the pitcher hold 3 with the catcher 4, and we get a 43. So it says here, if the roll is equal to or less than the combined stolen base defensive rating, the runner is caught stealing. So if we roll a 43 or less, he's caught stealing. 44 or higher, he steals it. 61 or higher, it's a possible error. So the magic number is 43. It has to be higher than less than 43 or less for him to be out. 44 or higher, he steals it. It's 45, so he will steal it. So how about that? Brian McRae not only will reach on the E5, but he'll steal second base. Gets himself into scoring position for George Brett. Triple fives, 6 with an F. That means we go to the action chart if he reaches. So that's a 5-5, which is a 6. 5-5 here is a 3, total of 9. And a 9 in column 5 is going to be a walk. There are no raised numbers. He has a couple raised numbers up here, but not down here. So that will be a walk. That'll put runners at first and second. That may knock off the action chart because obviously he can't steal with the guy in front of him. But we'll go to the action chart and take a look at what column F is. And we will actually roll because there's a couple chances for pickoff errors. So there's a pass ball here, pickoff error here, pickoff error here. So we're going to roll 2d6s and see if anything comes about that makes sense. If it's like stealing or caught stealing, we'll ignore it. It's a 7 in column F, and that is a stolen base plus error, but of course we're not going to be doing that. So that kind of gets whitewashed by the fact the runner was in front of him. So that'll bring up the catcher, Mike McFarland. 2 on, 1 out, top of the first, no score. McFarland. 4-6, and that's a 5. 4-1 is the first baseman, and that is Sorrento. And if we look at Sorrento's defensive rating, Sorrento checks in defensively as a 3. So we got a 3, and then the 4-6 is a 5 there, a total of 8. 8 with the infield halfway. That is going to be a ground out. Force out at second, other runners advance. So in this case, George Brett is out of there. And the out is going to go 3-6 on a fielder's choice. McFarland will reach, and Brian McRae will take third base. There are now 2 outs, runners on the corners for Wally World, Wally Joyner. Cliff Young trying to get out of the mess in the first. 3-5, that is a 3. 3-1 is a 2, total of 5 in column 3, and that's a short fly to left field to end the inning. So Kansas City threatens, but comes up empty-handed. We go to the bottom of the first. It is Kansas City nothing, and Cleveland coming to bat. And getting those warm-up tosses in is David Cone. And Cone will be facing speedster Kenny Lofton. 70 stolen bases on the season, so he does have some lots of stars and pluses on his card. If he gets on, he's a threat to go. 4-1 is a 25, and 4-4, well, we ignore that because anytime it's a 25, and this is a mistake I made earlier, but anytime it's a 25, we're not going to be looking at the position that's showing here because obviously the shortstop's not going to be fielding a bunt. So what we look at on there, and I'll show it in the chart if I can remember where it was in the rules that I was reading a little while ago. Let's see here, where was it? Let me pause the video, see if I can find it. Okay, so what we got here, and I had been playing this wrong, and I apologize for that, but it says when the play result on the batter card is a 25, use the original square referred to on the batter card to determine the infielder making the play. This will always be the first baseman, which is square 1, or third baseman, square 3. Ignore the blue die. So ignoring the blue die, and since this square was in number 1, that means we are looking at the first baseman. So the first baseman is the one that's going to be trying to make this play. So we're looking at column 4, and the first baseman for Kansas City is Joyner, and Joyner has a 2 for a defensive rating. So we've got a 25 and it's a 2 for a defensive rating. And now it says we're going to roll 2 dice against the fielder's range. If both dice are higher, the batter is out. So again, the range of Joyner is a 2. So if both dice we roll are higher than 2, then he will make the out on Kenny Lofton. If either one of them is 2 or less, then Lofton will beat it out. And Lofton beats it out. So Lofton with a bunt base hit to start the ball game. And because there's an asterisk there, that means he gets a chance to steal. Now he can't be caught. All he can do is either steal or hold because it's an asterisk versus the plus sign. But now we need to configure the hold rating of the pitcher and the catcher defense. Hold rating of the pitcher Cone is a 2, and the defense for McFarland is a 4. So we go to our chart, 2 and a 4. Now it's 3 and a 4 with Cleveland, but 2 and a 4 here for Kansas City. So Cone's not quite as good as holding runners on, so we're down to a 36. So now it has to be a 36 or less for the runner to hold. Otherwise, it's a stolen base. So if we roll a 37 or higher, it's a stolen base. And it is. So Kenny Lofton will steal. So it's a bunt single, and Kenny Lofton will steal second base. And he's trying to get something going here for the Tribe. So Lofton is aboard at second base with nobody out. And that sends up Wayne Kirby. 2-1, and that is a 37. 2-2 is a 2, total of 39 in column 2. And 39 in column 2 is a ground out pitcher to first. Runners advance 1 base, so the runner's going to go to third. Lofton will take third. Kirby is out. Now that is on the injury chart, but I was also misinterpreting that as well. The injuries on this game take effect the next day, not in this game. So nobody's going to get hurt in this game. All injuries would take effect in the next game, but I'm not doing a season replay, so it basically becomes a moot point. So 1 away, and that play was taken care of. 1-3 officially, as Cone's only play was the throw to Joyner. So Lofton's at third with 1 out. The infield for the Royals has come in. Try to choke the runoff. Here is Bayerga. 5-5, and that's a 15. 5-1 is a 4. Total of 19 in column 5, and that's an infield single. That will score the run, and we're going to M of the action chart. So base hit for Bayerga. That will drive home Kenny Lofton, and the Indians lead it 1-0 here in the bottom of the first. And we're going to action chart M for further action. So action chart M it is, which is this column right here. We're looking at wild pitches, balks, pass balls, pickoffs, and the red and white total of 6. So that's a wild pitch B0. It says if pitcher's wild pitch rating is 0, score a wild pitch. If catcher's pass ball rating is 0, score a pass ball. If both apply, score a wild pitch. All right, so we're looking at the pass ball rating and wild pitch rating of both pitchers. His wild pitch rating is a 0. So that means it is going to be a wild pitch from David Cone. So Cone uncorks one, wild pitch, and that will allow McFarland did not have the 0, so just going to be a wild pitch, not a pass ball. And now Albert Bell is up. And now Bayerga's in scoring position, so you got to be careful with Mr. Bell if you're Cone. 2-6, and that's the Rays number on this outfield looping line drive. Right now it's a 2. That can change based on what we get here. The blue die is a 4, so blue die being a 4, we're talking about the center fielder in this case. That's Brian McRae. So we look at Brian McRae's range. And Brian McRae in center field is the best you can have. He's a 5. So the only way this drops in is if this number changes to a 5. And the only way that happens is if we roll a 6. Anything other than a 6, it will be caught. And it is caught for the out. That's out number 2. Nice play there by McRae. Now let's check about runners. Let's see here. It says runners on second, third base advance 1 base if their speed is higher than the outfielder's arm. All right, Bayerga's speed is a 4. And McRae's arm is only a 2. So that means Bayerga will make it to third base because his speed is in excess of the arm rating. So he does take third on the fly to center. But with 2 outs, it'll probably take a base hit to score him. And that's going to have to come from Paul Sorrento, first baseman. So Sorrento is up. 4-2, that's an 11, another possible error. 4-5 is the shortstop. That is Greg Gagne. And Gagne's error rating is pretty good. It's a 56. So we have to roll a 57 or higher in order for there to be an error. On the red die, it has to be a 57 or higher. It is not. He will make the play, and the inning is over. So Gagne prevents any further damage from happening. But Cleveland does strike first, and they get on the board early, 1-0 over the Kansas City Royals. And we go to the bottom of the second. Cliff Young back out. We'll be facing Kevin McReynolds, followed by Gaetti and Gagne. McReynolds will lead it off. 5-1 is a 4, 5-6 is a 4, total of 8, and that will be a walk. So Kevin McReynolds draws the leadoff walk. Turns it over to Gary Gaetti, who they acquired from the Angels earlier in the season. See what he can do. 6-4, and that's a left-right split right here, and he found the one he wanted. That's an 11. That is an 11 on a left-right split. 59 would be looking at a double. 11 we're looking at a home run because he's facing a lefty. So right there's a left-right split. He must have really hit homers against lefties at a high rate. So 11 here. 6-3 is a 3 here, total of 14, and 14 in column 6. It is long, and it is not coming back. Gary Gaetti, a 2-run blast off of Cliff Young, and just that quickly the Kansas City Royals have reclaimed the lead. Well, they never had the lead, but they've taken the lead from the Cleveland Indians 2-1 here in the top of the second. And Mr. Young has to regroup and is facing Gagne. 1-3 is a 2, 1-2 is a 3, total of 5, and that's going to be a strikeout. So you regroup pretty well on that one. One away, and that brings up Jose Lind, second baseman. Four, 4, that's a 16. Might be an infield hit. 4-4 is a 16. 4-3 is the third baseman, and that is Espinoza. And we've seen before that Espinoza is a 2. Well, we saw his error rating was 15, but now we're looking at his range, which is a 2. So the 2 and the 16 is an 18. Infield is back. 18 does say ground out on the out is at first. So the play is made by Espinoza, and it's out number 2. Had they been in or halfway, that would have turned into a potential base hit. All right, here's Felix Jose. Back to the top of the order. He lined out to second base his first time up on the left-right split. He rolled a 3-6. And it went against him. 6-1 is a 31. 6-5 is a 4, total of 35. And that's a short fly to left field to end the inning. But Kansas City strikes for 2, courtesy of the 2-run home run from Gary Gaetti. And the Kansas City Royals have now claimed a 2-1 lead on the Cleveland Indians, going to the bottom of the second. Hopefully there's no foreshadowing here, but Reggie Jefferson will lead it off against Cone, and in the real game he's the one that walked Cone off on a home run. So we'll see what happens here. His first at bat against Cone in this one. 2-5 is a 3, 2-6 is a 2 with a W on it, and that's a total of 5 completely, and that's a strikeout. So in column 2, when you have a W, you have to get a result of 12-16 for there to be a walk on this. So he would have had to have rolled an 11, and then that would have made it a 13. The W would have been a walk. But in this case, it's just a 5, which is a strikeout. Anything 6 or less is a strikeout in column 2. So Reggie will swing and miss, and that brings up Alvaro Espinoza. 1-1-1. How about that? Triple ones. Usually it means a hit. 1's a 20, and 1-1's 21, and that's going to be a base hit plus a possible error. The blue die is a 1, which is the left fielder, and in this case the left fielder is Kevin McReynolds, and it says roll against the error of the fielder. So Kevin McReynolds, his error rating is a 54. So we're going to roll and see if this is higher than 54 or not. If it's 54 or less, it's no error. 55 or higher, it is an error. It's not going to be an error. So it's just going to be a base hit for Espinoza. And he's aboard with a 1-out single. But McReynolds doesn't turn it into anything worse. That'll bring up Felix the Cat Fermin. with the infield now halfway looking for the double play to get out of the inning. 2-6, and again we're back to the Rays number, and that blue die being a 3 means again we're Brian McRae, who's a 5 range, so the only way that this is going to drop for a hit is if we roll a 6. That's the only way to happen, and we do not, so it's a nice play turned in again by Brian McRae. He's just running stuff down out there with that good range. And with the run on first, he cannot tag up. So 2 down for Junior Ortiz, the catcher. Sandy Alomar still injured at this point. So Ortiz against Cone. 1-4 is a 35. 1-3 is a 1. Total of 36, and that's a ground ball to third. Gaetti will toss it over to Joyner, and the inning is over. So nothing doing for Cleveland. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a man left. We go to the third. 2-1, Kansas City in the lead. Cliff Young back out. We'll be facing Brian McRae, who's made 2 spectacular plays in center field to take away hits. See what he can do offensively. He reached on an error by Espinosa his first time up and stole second base, but stranded at third base. 5-1 is a 2, 5-6 is a 4, a total of 6, and that's going to be a base on balls. Base on balls. Brian McRae. Now there's no star there or plus, so there's not going to be a steal attempt because I'm doing auto steals only. So no steal is popped up, so it's just going to be a walk, and that'll bring up George Brett. 3-5, that is a 3 with an asterisk. 3-2 is a 2, so that's a total of 5 in column 3. It's a fly to left field, 1 away, so the asterisk comes up irrelevant since he didn't reach base. 1 down for Mike McFarland, the catcher. And McFarland reached on a fielder's choice his first time. 3-6, that's the left-right split. He is a righty against the lefty, so that is a base hit, and it's an automatic 2-base advancement on those left-right split base hits. Second one of the game that's come up. This one turned positive for Kansas City. The first one was a negative. This one's a positive. Puts runners at the corners with 1 out for Wally Joyner. And now with the Tribe, do you think you can turn 2? You stay back and try to turn 2. If you think you can't turn 2, then you play in. But he's got 3 low numbers on his column 4, so they're going to lay back for the double play. 5-5, we hit column 5 instead. 5-5 is a 20, 5-1 is a 1. It's a total of 21. And 21 says it's a base on balls, and we're going to column M of the action chart. Column M of the action chart. There's a Rays number 2 here, but that only comes into play if you get a result of 6, 7, 8, or 9. It does not come into play when you get 21. So it will be a walk to load the bases. And now we go to action chart, column M, which again is potential pickoff, wild pitches, and so forth. We roll a 6, which is the same thing. It was that same wild pitch WPBO, which means if either the pitcher or catcher has a 0 wild pitch or pass ball rating, then it's going to be a wild pitch or a pass ball. Cliff Young has a 6, so that's not the case. Junior Ortiz has a 5, so that's not the case. So it's not going to be either of those. So it's no play, basically. The ball's just in the dirt, and he blocked it. And now the bases are loaded for Kevin McReynolds, and 1 out. Infield still looking for that double play. They do have a force at any base. McReynolds walked his first time up and scored. 4-3, and that's a potential double play right there. 4-3 is a 3. 4-1 is the first baseman, Sorrento. And Sorrento is a 3 as well. So that's going to be a total of 6 in column 4 with the infield halfway. That's a first to second double play, but we're on the number 6, which means we're looking at the pivot of the infielder. So I will show that real quickly. Pivot of the infielder. This is what we're looking at. We are looking at the pivot of the infielder. Since we rolled a 6, we look at the defensive rating of the pivot man. The pivot man. The ball was hit to Let's see, 4-1. Well, it was hit to Sorrento, so the pivot man's a shortstop, Espinosa. So Espinosa is a shortstop rating. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He's at third. No, it's Fermin's at short. My bad. Felix Fermin's a shortstop. He's a 4, which is really good. So we come over here to a 4. Actually, he's not very good. My bad. You need the low numbers on the infield, don't we? So Felix Fermin is not very good, which means the double play chance just got reduced. A 1-3 is a double play, but a 4-6 is a fielder's choice. Had he been a 1 or a 2, there'd be almost a guaranteed double play. But since he's a 4, it's a 1-3 for a double play, and a 4-6 is a fielder's choice with a run scoring. And it's a 4, so it's a fielder's choice with a run scoring. Had he been a 3-rated shortstop, that would have been a double play. But since he's a 4, he could not turn it. So bad break there for Cleveland. The out is made at second base on the force, but the run's going to score as they can't turn 2. So McReynolds reaches on the fielder's choice. Joyner is going to be out, and the out's going to go 3-6. Scoring is McCray from third, and McFarland will take third. So runners are at the corners now with 2 outs. 1 run is in, making it a 3-1 game, Kansas City. And that's going to bring up Gary Gaetti. So Kansas City has already outscored their real-life game with only scored 2 runs. They're up to 3 already here in the 3rd inning. Here's Gaetti. 4-2, that's a 2. 4-1 again is the first baseman, but with the infield back, it's just going to be Sorrento flipping to Cliff Young. 3-1 for the putout to end the inning. But Kansas City tacks on a run, and we go to the bottom of the 3rd. It is 3-1 Royals over the Cleveland Indians. Next Sunday night, it'll be July 4th weekend, and we will be from the city of brotherly love, where the San Diego Padres will take on the Philadelphia Phillies. That'll be the ESPN Sunday night game next week, July 4th, 1993. Kenny Lofton, of course, will be July 2nd, 2023 when we do it. But it is a July 4th weekend because a lot of people are probably going to be off on that Monday. I'm not, but a lot of people will be. All right, here is Kenny Lofton leading things off. He singled, stole second, and scored his first time up. Did exactly what a leadoff hitter is supposed to do. 3-4, and that's a potential rare play. So we're going to roll and see if we get an even or an odd. We get an even, so that means it's a comebacker to the mound. His speed is a 4, so we have to roll a 5 or a 6 to get him out. 1-4, he'll beat it out. And it's a 6, so they do throw him out. So nice play by Cone as they get the swift running Kenny Lofton 1-3 for the putout. And that'll bring up Wayne Kirby. 5-4 is a 1. 5-3 is a 5. That's a total of 6 in column 5, and that's going to be a walk. And with that asterisk there, that means Kirby is going to attempt a steal. He had 17 of them on the 1993 season. So with the walk, we get a steal. And we've already figured that 36 is the number for the pitcher and catcher hold combined. So this has to be 30. It has to be 36 or lower to hold him. 25. He does hold up. Not caught because it's asterisk, not a plus. It just means he can't get the jump. So Kirby has to stand pat at first base, and that brings up Carlos Baerga. Baerga singled his first time up. Drove in Kenny Lofton. Baerga 2-1 is a 49. 2-4 is a 2. Total of 51. And that's going to be a ground out pitcher to first. Again, runners advancing. But it is pitcher to first, so Cone will throw to Joyner. Goes 1-3 with Kirby taking second base. And again, that would have been, actually on that play, it would not have been an injury either way, but if all these injuries are for the next game, not for this game. So got to make sure I tighten that up and not have all these injuries. So that makes it a lot more fun now. Don't have to worry about 15 guys getting injured. All right, here's Albert Bell. 5-1 is a 5, and I think it was Tebow that told me that and brought that to my attention, so I appreciate that. Appreciate him telling me about that. 5-1 is a 5. 5-4 is a 5. Total of 10 in column 5. That's a walk. So Albert Bell will walk, and that's really not, considering who it was, that's really not a bad move. His 38 home runs, you don't have to deal with him. You get to deal with Sorrento instead. He had 18 home runs, pretty good hitter, but not nearly as dangerous as Albert Bell. 3-2 is an 11, and a 3-6 is a 3. Total of 14 in column 3, and that is a line out to third base, and that's going to end the inning. So Cleveland leaves 2 on base. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 left via the walk. And at the end of 3, still 2-1. I'm sorry, 3-1. Kansas City in the lead. We go to the top of the 4th, and do it for the Royals. It'll be Greg Gagne, followed by Jose Lean, and then Felix Jose. 3-3 is a 32. 3-4 is a 3. Total of 35. And 35 is a double to center field for Greg Gagne. Leadoff double for Mr. Gagne. He is aboard on the leadoff double. And that'll bring up Jose Lean. Kansas City looking for more against Mr. Young. 6-1 is a 16. 6-4 is a 4. Total of 20. And that's a deep fly to right field. Any run on second tags up and moves to third is what the chart says. So, therefore, Mr. Gagne is going to make it to third base on the fly out to right by Jose Lean. It was a deep fly to the track, so that got him over to third base with 1 out, which is big because now Cleveland's going to have to play the infield in. Don't really have much of a choice. Felix Jose is 0 for 2. 4-6 is a 5, and a 4-2 is the second baseman. That's Bayerga, and Bayerga is a 2. So we got a 2 and a 5. That's a 7. Infield in on a 7. Slow grounder. Defense has 2 options. Take the shore out at first as runners advance, or try for the lead runner. Roll 1 die against lead runner's speed. If higher, he is out on the fielder's choice. If not out, everybody is safe. All right, Gagne's speed is a 4. So what you'd be doing here is you'd be taking a chance to try to roll a 5 and a 6 to get him out. But if you don't, then everybody's safe. The run scores, runners at first to Jose. Or you take the shore out, get Felix Jose out, make it 2 out, spaces empty, bring home the run, make it 4-1. But they're already down 3-1. They really need to get that out. So I think they're going to have to gamble. They need a 5 or a 6 to get the play at the plate to be an out. And they get it, so they get him. So the gamble pays off. Jose will reach on the fielder's choice. But this is going to be, with the infield in again, that was a huge. And Jose is going to reach on the fielder's choice. And that was going to go 4-2 scoring. Bayerga throws to the catcher, Junior Ortiz, who put on the tag and kept Gagne from scoring. So McRae is the new runner at, Felix Jose is the new runner at first base. Now there are 2 outs. And it's Brian McRae. So the gamble pays off by the Tribe. They kind of had to do it based on the score. Here's McRae, 2-2, and that's an 11, so that's almost a guaranteed base hit. 2-1 is a 4, total of 15, column 2, and that is a single to right field. With 2 outs, runner on second scores. On throw home, runner on first goes to third, and batter takes second. This just says runner advances 1 base with 2 outs, runner on second scores. There is no runner on second. So we're just going to say that the runner stops at second. And so that's going to take the stolen base chance away from McRae, because he has somebody blocking him. Does not say anything about the run on first going to third. That is not listed as an option. That only happens if on the throw home. So if there's a run on second and first, then the guy on second would score, and the run on first would go to third on the throw, but that's not the case. So we whitewash the potential steal chance and just leave McRae at first base along with Felix Jose at second base. And Young's got his troubles here. He's got to get the veteran George Brett. 1-2 is a 35. 1-2 is a 2. I'm sorry, a 3. Total of 38. That's a ground ball to third, and that's going to do it as Espinosa makes the play to end the inning. So Kansas City comes close, that runner on third, but the gamble by the Tribe pays off, and they keep them off the board and keep it a 2-run game. And Cliff Young may or may not be around much longer. He's been struggling the whole game, basically. So you wonder how long they're going to go with him. They do have 6 arms in the bullpen that they can go to, so we'll see how it plays out. Reggie Jefferson will lead things off. He struck out his first chance. 6-1 is a 31. 6-5 is a 3. Total of 34. That's a short fly to center field for out number 1. That'll bring up Espinosa. 2-4. That is a 55 with a 3 on it. So that number will not change because it's in white. It's not in the orange. So that number will not change. The blue die being a 6 is the right fielder Jose. Felix Jose. His range in right field is a 3, so it does not top that. So that means since he did not beat it, that means it will drop for a base hit. So, balls for run advances 2 bases. No, there's no other runner on. It's just a base hit for Espinosa. Somebody on base would have had a chance to go extra bases, but not Espinosa himself. So Espinosa is 2 for 2. He drops that in front of Felix Jose. That's one that Brian McRae would have caught, but not Felix Jose. So here's Fermin. 1-4 is a 35. 1-1 is a 1. Total of 36. And it's a ground ball to third, the infield halfway, second to first, double play. That's going to end the inning. It will end the inning. It's going to go 5-4-3 around the horn. Gaetti to lean to Joyner for the 5-4-3 double play. And that's going to do it for the Tribe here in the 4th. We played 4 at Cleveland Stadium. Kansas City maintains a 3-1 lead. And Mike McFarland will be up. Now we wonder, Cliff Young, this is his 5th inning, can face 23 batters. Right now he has faced 21. And you got some righties coming up, so you know what? I think they're going to make the move to the bullpen. Cleveland's going to their bullpen. And let's see who they're going to turn to. They are going to go with they will go with Jeremy Hernandez. He's a pickup from San Diego. So Jeremy Hernandez will be on to pitch in back of Cliff Young. Young is going to go 4 innings, give up 3 runs, which were all earned. And he gave up, let's see how many hits he gave up. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, but he did walk quite a few. So his walks, he walked 1, 2, 3, 4. He walked 4. And he struck out only 1. So strikeout to walk ratio not good at all. But at least they're still in the game. It's only 3-1. So now McFarland will have to deal with Jeremy Hernandez. 1-2 is a 2. 1-1 is a 2. Total of 4. That is a strikeout. So Hernandez comes in right away meaning business and gets the strikeout. Here's Wally Joyner. Joyner has flied to left and walked. 4-4, that's a 17. 4-6 is the second baseman Bayerga. And Bayerga is a 2. So that makes it a total of 19 in column 4. 19 in column 4 with the infield back is just a regular old ground out. 4-3 for out number 2. That's one where if the infield was halfway, that would have been a single knocked down by the fielder, but he wouldn't have the range to get it. But since the infield was back, he could make the play. Here's McReynolds. 4-6 is a 17. 4-3 is a third baseman. That is Espinosa. And Espinosa is a 2. So we got a total of 19 again. Same result. Going to be a ground out, 5-3 to end the inning. So Jeremy Hernandez, a nifty 1-2-3 fifth. We go to the bottom of the fifth, still 3-1 Royals. Cone will now be facing Junior Ortiz, and then the top of the order, Lofton and Kirby. Ortiz grounded to third his first time up. 3-4, and that's another rare play possibility. It is even, so it's back to the comebacker to the mound. He's only a 2, so all they need is a 3 or higher to throw him out. And they don't do it. Ortiz beats it out, but unbelievable. Cone had issues getting rid of the ball. Official score generously gives him a hit. Almost could have argued for an E1 there, but they will give him the hit, the official scorer will. And Junior Ortiz leads off with a single. That will send up Kenny Lofton. 6-5 is a 36, and we know 36s in column 6 are strikeouts, just like 13 in APA is a strikeout. Same thing. So Lofton is out of there. Brings up Wayne Kirby. 1-2 is a 2. 1-3 is a 1. Total of 3. That's another strikeout. So Cone coming back with a vengeance. 2 consecutive strikeouts. And he just has to get Bayerga to get out of the inning. 1-2 is a 35. 1-6 is a 2. Total of 37. That's a ground ball to second. Easy play for Leaned. And that will end up doing it. He'll go to first the easy way for the out. And they will leave the runner on base. Nothing doing for the Tribe here in the fifth. 5 innings in the book. Still 3-1 Kansas City. Jeremy Hernandez will come back out for a second inning of work. He did throw 112 innings in just 70 appearances, so he's definitely capable of tossing 2 innings. Especially since the first inning was a 3-batter affair. So here's Gary Gaetti. He's hit a 2-run homer in the second inning. That's been the decider of the game so far. 5-2 is a 32. 5-4 is a 2. Total of 34. And that's going to be a strikeout. So Gary Gaetti with the whiff. 1 down for Greg Gagne. Doubled his last time up, but was thrown out the plate on a fielder's choice. 2-3 is a 2. 2-2 is a 2. Total of 4. And that's another strikeout. Back-to-back strikeouts by Hernandez. He's retired all 5 he's faced with 3 strikeouts. So he's looking to throw 2 pretty much perfect innings. And then he'll go to the bullpen again. Probably for a lefty. 1-1 is a 25. 1-4 is a 2. Total of 27. And that's a single off the pitcher's glove plus a possible error. Pitcher recovers but may throw wildly. Roll against pitcher's error rating. Roll is higher, batter, and all runners advance an extra base on the error. All right, his error rating's a 45. So if it's higher than 45, then he makes a throwing error. And he does. So it's going to be a hit plus an error. And Jose Lean will end up at second base on the single plus an E1. Second error of the game for the Cleveland Indians, as they're having a little bit of a issue. And Felix Jose's coming up, a lefty, so they're going to the bullpen. Cleveland's not going to mess around. They're going to be bringing in a lefty of their own, and they're going to the bullpen for left-handed pitcher Derek Lilliquist, who is a lefty specialist. So Lilliquist, they can't afford to allow another run, so they have to kind of play it like it's, do or die. So Lilliquist is on, and he's going to be facing Mr. Felix Jose with 2 outs and a runner at second. Since he's facing a lefty, the 1-2 blue die is going to be the top row, 3-4 blue die is going to be the middle row, 5-6 blue die is going to be the third row. We're not going to be in this row, these rows at all, just here because he's facing a lefty. If he faces a righty, we'd be down here. So 3-3, and that's in the shaded area. So 3-3 is a 5, and that can certainly change. 3-2 is a 1. So we keep the 1 right here. The 5 can change. We're going to roll 1d6 and come down here and see if it's going to be an out or a single. Right now it's a 5. Let's see what happens. It's a 4, so that changes this number to a 4. So we got the 4 plus the 1, that's a 5, which is a 5 in column 3, is a short fly to left field, and the inning is over. So Lilliquist does his job, keeps the Royals off the board, keeps his team in the game, and it is time to go to the bottom of the 6th. Cone obviously can face many, many batters. He pitched a complete game in real life in this game, so he's nowhere near being tired. Here's Albert Bell. 5-5 is a 20. 5-4 is a 5. Total 25, and that's going to be a walk. And we're going to action chart M once again after the walk. So Bell will draw his second walk of the game, and we go to action chart M. Total is a 2. Total is a 2, so it's a pickoff. Pickoff right here, and it says it's a pickoff with an asterisk, my bad. It says same as pickoff above, but attempt is made a lead runner. Well, there's only one runner on. So attempted pickoff. If blue die is higher than the pitcher's hold rating, runner gets back safely. If not, runner is picked off. All right, so the hold rating is a 2. The blue die is higher, so that means he gets back. He is not picked off. Since Cone would have needed a 4 or better for a hold rating to get that pickoff, but he did not. So Bell smartly gets back after the walk. And now Sorrento stepping to the plate. 6-3 is a 16. 6-4 is a 2. Total of 18. And that's a deep fly to left for out number 1. 1 down for Reggie Jefferson. 0 for 2 in the game. 5-1 is a 3 with a J, so that's an action chart result if he reaches. So 5-1 is a 3. 5-4 is a 5. Total of 9. 9 in column 5 is going to be a walk. So he will reach. Let's see what action chart J talks about, because the runner is in front of him. Yep, it's talking about stolen bases. There is a chance for a balk or a pickoff error. So we'll roll and see if anything comes from it. It's an 8, which says in column J, 8 shows a pickoff error. 8 does show a pickoff error. So possible error on pickoff attempt. Roll against the error's pitcher's error rating. If roll is higher, all runners advance 1 base. His error rating is a 61, so we're going to roll and see if we get a higher than a 61. We do not, so there is no pickoff error. Everything stays status quo. And Reggie Jefferson will reach on yet another walk. Albert Bell will move to second. First and second. 1 out for Alvaro Espinosa. 2-1 is a 38. 2-1 is a 1. I'm sorry, it's a 2. Total of 40. 40 in column 2 is going to be a ground out short to first. Runners are going to advance. So the only play by the shortstop, Gagne, was to throw it to first for out number 2. But all runners advance to second and third with 2 down. And it's up to Felix Fermin. Felix Fermin, chance to tie the game with a base hit. 1-6, he won't do it though. 1-6 is a 5. 1-6 is a 2, total of 7, and that's going to be a pop to center. I'm sorry, pop up to second base. And that's going to end the inning. So Fermin leaves 2 in scoring position, and the Indians come away empty-handed. 6 innings in the books. It's still 3-1 Kansas City. And with some lefties still coming up, Lilliquist will stay out there. You got the switch hitter McRae and then the lefty Brett coming up. So, and then 2 batters later, you got another lefty and Joyner. So Lilliquist's going to stay out there. 2-3 from McRae is a 2. 2-1 against a righty is a 3. So that's a total of 5, which is still a strikeout. So McRae out on strikes to start the 7th. Brings up George Brett, lefty on lefty matchup. 1-1 is a 10. 1-6 is a 2. Total of 12. And that's a single up the middle. No chance for an error, just a single up the middle. And George Brett reaches with a 1-out single, his first hit of the game. We'll bring up Mike McFarland. Definitely a double play candidate. 1-5 is a 4. 1-6 is a 3 against the right-hander, so that's a total of 7. And that's just a pop up to second base. Out number 2. And that'll bring up Joyner. This will probably be the last batter Lilliquist will face, because you got a bunch of righties coming up next. 6-4 is a 41, and a 6-3 against a lefty is a 1. So that's a total of 42 in column 6, and that's a line drive hit to left field. Runner advances 1 base on the single, chance for extra bases. Roll 1 die against the outfielder's defensive rating if the die is higher, scored as a double as runners advance 2 bases. Now there is an option to use the blue die to see if it's where it goes, not necessarily to left field. The blue die is a 3, which means it would still go to left field, so it's not going to matter. 4 or 5 would have been center, and 6 would have been right, so it's still going to go to left field. So it says, roll 1 die against the outfielder's defensive rating. If die is higher, scored as a double. Defensive rating of the left fielder is Kevin McReynolds. I'm sorry, not Kevin McReynolds. It's going to be Albert Bell. Cleveland's in the field. So Albert Bell, his defensive rating is a 3 in left field. See if it's higher or lower than a 3. It's a 4, so it is higher. It's going to be scored as a double. So he scored as a double. If there's a run on first, roll 1 die against the outfielder's arm. If the die is higher, runner scores. All right, there was a runner on first. Albert Bell's arm is a 4. So if we roll a 5 or a 6, then he will score from first base. We do. He does. We did, and he does. So it's a double for Wally Joyner. And the Royals extend the lead now to 4-1, and that's going to be it for Lilliquist. He's going to leave. He will exit, and they will go to the pen again for a right-hander, Heathcliff Slocum, if you got him. They picked him up from the Cubs. So Slocum will be coming on with the runner on second and 2 outs to face Kevin McReynolds. 4-1 Royals, top of the 7th. 4-6, that's a 17. 4-5 is the shortstop, and that is Fermin. And Fermin, not very good, unfortunately, for Cleveland. In the range category, he is a 4. So that makes that a 21. 21 in column 4 with the infield back. 21 is a single off the fielder's glove. Let's see here. Runners advance. But since it's a 21, it's an asterisk, so I'll show this because we're going to go to the umpire chart. He could be out. So when you get a 21, then we're going to go to the umpire chart. If we roll a 1 or a 6, he's actually going to be out. Anything else, he'll be safe. It's a 4, he is safe, he beats it out. But the run, it's knocked down, so the run cannot score. It's just going to be runners are at the corners. So an infield single for McReynolds, but Fermin was at least able to knock it down and prevent the run from scoring. Keeps runners at the corners with 2 down for Gary Gaetti. So Gary Gaetti let me make sure. No, actually, no, I'll take that back. 21, it says runners, let's see here. Runners advance 1 base, runner scores from second. So I take it back. It does score from second. That's what the chart says. Chart does say, and I'll show it. Chart does say on a 21, right here, single off fielder's glove, runners advance 1 base. No, it is. No, he does not score. I was looking at down here. My bad. Runner scores from second on a 22 or 23, so he does not score. I was right the first time. My bad. He stays at third, so all that confusion, and I was right the first time. Okay, that's why you always want to trust your first instinct, I guess. So still 2 outs, runners at the corner. Slocum still can get out of it by getting Gaetti. 6-2, that's an 8, that's trouble. That can change, but then a 6-6 on the pitcher card is a 4. So right now that's a 12, which would be a possible home run. But we'll go up here to column 6, re-roll for a right-handed batter, and see what that number changes to. That number 8 could change to something else. It's a 5, so it's going to change to a 7. So the 7 here and the 4 there is an 11. That's a base hit, but there's a possibility of a home run on an 11. Not a good one, but there's a chance on an 11. And it has to be a 6. It's the only way you get a home run is on a 6. And it's not. But it is a single. That will score the run for sure. And let's see. Runner on first will go to, let's see. Runners advance 1 base. No throw home, runners advance 2 bases with 2 outs. So it is runners on the corners. Gaetti scores. 2 runs are in the inning. It's now 5-1 Kansas City, and the Cleveland bullpen has kind of imploded. And now here is Gagne. So Heathcliff Slocum was not the answer, obviously. 1-3 is a 2, 1-2 is a 3, total of 5 for a strikeout, but too little too late as the Royals put up 2 more runs here in the top of the 7th. And we go to the 7th inning stretch with the score Kansas City 5 and Cleveland 1. And David Cone is looking large and in charge right now. Top of the 7th, I will stretch myself, check the focus on the phone, make sure moving all these charts back and forth didn't affect anything, and I don't think it has, which is a good thing. Don't need any blurry stuff going on. Junior Ortiz is your leadoff man for Cleveland, but he will not bat. They will go to the bench, and they will bring in a pinch hitter. They will also have Jesse Levis catch the rest of the game, but Jesse Levis is a 175 hitter, so he will not hit for Ortiz. They will have someone else do the hitting. And on the bench, they have Treadway and Howard. Treadway is a 303 hitter, so he looks like the guy to do it. So Jeff Treadway is going to pinch hit for Ortiz, and then Jesse Levis will stay in the game and will come into the game and catch here in the 8th. So pinch hitting opportunity for Jeff Treadway. So Levis and Treadway have been used. That leaves Glenn Allen Hill, Carlos Martinez, and Thomas Howard on the bench for Cleveland. Forgot Slocum was used also. So they have Cook, Plunk, and another young, Matt Young, in the bullpen. Treadway 3-6. Good thing they used the lefty right on time. That left-right split comes into play, and it is a base hit. Treadway with the single on that left-right split. So that came right on time. That 3-6 split, left-right split came in just in the nick of time, and Cleveland took advantage of it with the base hit. Here comes Kenny Lofton. They have a long road to go, though. They're down 5-1. 1-3 is a 4. 1-6 is a 2. That's a 6 total of strikeout. Get that 6 in column 1. It is a strikeout. So a big strikeout for Cone. And that'll send up Wayne Kirby. Cone has now faced 28 batters. He can face 30. Now there are some optional rules about fatigue where the raised number here means he gets 4 extra batters. So I might use that. I really kind of like to stick to this batter face though, and not worry too much about it. But again, he did pitch a complete game, so I'm not going to ding him too much. Kirby, 6'5" is a 36. That's a strikeout. So 2 strikeouts in a row. Cone's looking pretty sharp. He's not looking for any relief anytime soon. So Carlos Baerga steps up. So he won't have to go to his B grades just yet. 5-2 is a 32. 5-1 is a 4. Total of 36. And that's going to be a strikeout. So he strikes out the side after giving up that left-right split pinch hit. He comes back to strike out the side. And at the end of 7, it is Kansas City 5 and Cleveland 1. And Slocum's still out there. They do have some lefties coming up next after Leaned. So it's looking like Cleveland will be going to the bullpen for a lefty. And that will be The other Young, Matt Young, will be coming on. But Slocum's going to face Lean first. 4-5, and that's an 11 possible error. 1 is the first baseman, so we're checking the first baseman Sorrento's error rating. He's a 54, so we're going to roll and see if we get higher than 54 as a possible error. We do not, so he's going to make the play and flip it to Slocum, 3-1 covering, and Jose Lean is retired. That flips the order to these lefties with Felix Jose. So Cleveland again will make a move to the bullpen for lefty Matt Young. I don't think he's in relation to the starting pitcher Cliff Young, just happen to have the same last name. So that will leave Cook and Plunk as the only bullpen arms for Cleveland. As Young going to come on, a left-hander, to face a couple of lefties in Jose, a switch hitter McRae, and a lefty in Brett. So here's Jose. 3-6, and as soon as you bring the lefty in, that left-right split, it was perfect timing. Ends up being a liner to second. Second time Jose has gotten an out on that left-right split, where he had to face a lefty and made an out. So had we left the other guy in there, that would have been a base hit. So good managing there by Mike Hargrove. So here's McRae, switch hitter. 5-3 is a 3, 5-5 is a 5, total of 8, and that will be a 2-out walk. 2-out walk to Brian McRae, but it will bring up George Brett, lefty on lefty matchup. 1-6 is a 45, and with the infield back, that is a strikeout. Struck him out to end the inning. So they keep Kansas City off the board here in the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th, still 5-1. And Albert Bell will be leading things off against Mr. Cone. (6-2), and that's a 9, but it's in the ballpark, so that could definitely change. 6-1 is a 1. We're going to add 1 to whatever comes up here. So let's see what that 9 changes to. It's a 4, so it changes to an 8. So this becomes an 8 plus the 1 is a 9, so that is a base hit for Albert Bell. There is an asterisk there, so he does get a chance to steal. And normally he wouldn't steal down 5-1 in the 8th inning, but since it's an asterisk, he has no chance to get caught. All he can do is hold. That's the worst that could happen. And the magic number is 36. Higher than 36, then he steals it. Yep, he steals it. So Albert Bell trying to do what he can. One thing it will do is take away the double play, which can definitely be a rally killer, so that's a good sign for Cleveland. Brings up Paul Sorrento. 3-6, that's a left-right split, and again a base hit, and that's going to bring the run home, so Bell will score from second base. RBI single from Sorrento, and that might do it for Cone. I don't know if they want to mess around too much longer with Cone. They got bullpen activity already down there with Reggie Jefferson coming in to hit. They might decide to go to the pen here, and I believe they are. So David Cone's night is done. He's going to go 7+, and he's given up a total of 2 runs, with the runner on first being his responsibility. And now the Kansas City Royals will go to their bullpen, and they will go to Billy Brewer, left-hander, to face Jefferson. Now does Cleveland counter with a pinch hitter from the right side? They could use Carlos Martinez if they so chose, and he could play first base. So that's what they will do. They will counter with Carlos Martinez. So Martinez is your new first baseman. He's going to take over at first. Actually, he takes over at DH for Jefferson because Sorrento's at first. So Martinez will take over as the new DH. And he's in there to face Billy Brewer. So Billy Brewer, first reliever used by the Royals in now a 5-2 ball game. Nobody out. 1-3 is a 4. 1-6 is a 2. That's a 6. That's a strikeout. So big strikeout there for Brewer to get that first out. And now here's Alvaro Espinosa. Espinosa's 2 for 3. 6-2, and then against a lefty, that's pretty good. That's a 60. That's that split. It goes from a single to a double. So 60 will be a double into the corner. And let's see, runner advances 2 bases with 2 outs. All right, so runner advances 2 bases. Doesn't say they're not 2 outs, so he's not going to get the boost. It's going to be a double to put runners at second and third. So second and third with only 1 out. Cleveland coming back. Threatening. Felix Fermin is your batter. He's a 263 hitter, so there's no shame or no reason to pinch hit for him. So they're going to go ahead and let him swing away. Plus, I don't think they have anybody else to play shortstop, so kind of stuck with him. Infield is back for Kansas City. They need outs. 1-3 is a 4. 1-1 is a 2. Total of 6. That's a strikeout. That's the kind of out they needed. 2 down, and now, unfortunately for Cleveland, they got Jesse Levis because they pinch hit for Junior Ortiz last time up. They can't pinch hit for Levis because they have no one else to catch, and Levis is not very good, obviously. 2-3 is a 16. 2-5 is a 2. Total of 18 in column 2, and that is a fly to center field to end the inning. So what looked promising turns out to just be 1 run instead, and it is a 5-2 ball game as we go to the 9th inning. And we will get a new pitcher for Cleveland, I believe. And also for Kansas City, because I think they're looking at Jeff Montgomery to get the save, assuming it stays a save situation. So Montgomery is loosening in the pen. For Cleveland, they will bring in Eric Plunk. So Plunk will be coming on to pitch. He is the 6th pitcher used by Cleveland. And he'll be facing McFarland, Joyner, and McReynolds, 2 out of 3 right-handed. 5-2 Royals, 9th inning. 3-5, that's a 30. 3-2 is a 1, total of 31, and that's going to be a line out to left field. 1 away. McFarland is retired. Here's Wally Joyner. He doubled and scored his last time up. He is 1 for 3 on the game with a walk. I'm sorry, I got Kenny Lofton up there instead of Wally Joyner. I don't know how I did that, but whatever. We'll fix that. 3-1 is a 4 in the shaded area. 3-6 is a 2. So we're going to add 2 to whatever this is, or whatever it changes to based on this D6 roll right here. So we keep the 2 handy. That's a 1, so it changes to a 2. And that's a 2, gives them a total of 4 in column 3, which is a short fly to right. And there's 2 away very quickly for Kevin McReynolds. 6-5, that's a 36, and that's automatically a strikeout. So Plunk does his job. And we go to the bottom of the 9th, last chance for Cleveland. They trail it 5-2, and they will have to do it against the closer for Kansas City, Jeff Montgomery. He had 45 saves in 1993. But they do get the top of the order to do it with. So got Lofton, Kirby, and Baerga with Bell on deck. So you got the guys up there you want if you're Cleveland. But they got to face Montgomery. That's the problem. 2-6, and that's a raised number. The 5 means we're looking at the right fielder. And the right fielder is Felix Jose. And his range in right field is a 3. So right now he can catch this, but if this changes to a 3 or more, it will drop for a hit. And so we go up here. To be a 3 or more, you have to roll a 3 or higher. So if we roll a 3 or higher, this drops in for a base hit. If we roll a 1 or a 2, Felix Jose will make the catch. It's a 3, so we'll drop in. So Kenny Lofton, a leadoff single. And if you're Cleveland, that's how you want to start the 9th inning, with that base hit from the leadoff man. Here's Wayne Kirby. And now you want if the Royals should have brought in maybe somebody to play defense in right field. That's better than Felix Jose. Probably should have done that and didn't think about it. Chris Gwynn is a 3. which is the same as Jose, so that's not too much more different. So really just not much difference there. So we're just going to leave it as is. Here's Kirby. 1-6, and with the infield halfway, that 45, that's a potential double play. And it says, with second short plane halfway score, this is a ground ball back to the pitcher who throws the second for the force out and try for the double play. Roll one die against the pitcher's defensive rating. If the die is higher, scored as a double play. So Montgomery's defensive rating is a 4. If we roll a 5 or a 6, it's a double play. It's a 5, so it is a double play, despite his lack of defense. But it's going to go 1, 6, 3, double play, and talk about killing the rally right there. That just happened. So last chance now is Baerga, 2 outs, bases clear. 2-1 is a 49, 2-5 is a 2, total of 51, and that will be a ground ball right back to Montgomery. Flips to Joyner, and the ball game is over. The Kansas City Royals defeat the Cleveland Indians by the score of 5-2 here on ESPN's Sunday Night Baseball. They flipped the script in real life where they lost 3-2. They win this one 5-2, and we'll be right back with the totals and get you ready for next Sunday's telecast. All right, final totals in the ball game for Kansas City: 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors. They left 10 on base. Cleveland, 2 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors. They also left 10 on base. Winning pitcher was David Cone. The loser was Cliff Young, and the save goes to Jeff Montgomery. So Kansas City flips the script. They lost 3-2 in real life, but they come back and win 5-2 on the replay. Next Sunday will be the July 4th weekend. We'll be in the city of brotherly love as the San Diego Padres and Tim Worrell on the mound against Ben Rivera and the Philadelphia Phillies from the Vet. That'll be next Sunday on the ESPN Sunday Night Game of the Week. So we bid you farewell from Cleveland Stadium, the Mistake by the Lake. And again, final score, Kansas City 5, Cleveland 2. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.